back to Unit 1, Week 5, Well-being, for the topic number 3,
which is the respiratory center.
Yes. So how long can you hold your breath? So you can make this exercise. If you have siblings or if your parents, make the challenge who can breathe the longest.
Try not to hold your breath for more than 3 minutes, because that is dangerous for you.
Yes.
And if you hold your breath for more than 2 minutes, you can actually become unconscious. Okay, you can go into a coma. So try to do the exercise for less than 1 minute, and tell us how long you can hold your breath for.
And guess how many times we breathe in and out?
In one full day.
24 hours.
24 hours. How many times do you think? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Is it 10,000? Or is it 15,000?
Answer is 17,000 times per day.
So,
average, huh? So you can count one day if you want, but it's going to be a lot.
So if you do a lot of exercise, then that number can be very high as well, about 20,000.
Okay, the purpose.
So today we will learn about the respiratory center to be able to explain methods of taking care of respiratory systems for normal functioning and various data, information, and events in daily life, and choose to receive and utilize the data and information appropriately for learning together with acting in compliance with orders, requests, and instructions heard and read.
Alright, so you go to the vocabulary. This time a bit more complicated. The first one, respiration. Respiration, it's the action.
So when you're breathing in and out, that is respiration. The second word is respiratory system. So the whole system, the nose, the windpipe, the lungs, all of that is the respiratory system.
Then the third one, breathe. Breathe, that's the verb. You breathe, we breathe. It's the action.
Next is the larynx. So the larynx is the voice box. So if you take your finger and keep it on your neck, and when you talk, the part that moves is the larynx.
Then the lung, so it's inside, you have two of them. Breathe, without them you cannot live. You can live with one lung, but not with two.
And the next is trachea, or that is the pipe. So the pipe from the nose to the lung is called the trachea.
The last one, oxygen. Oxygen. That's what all around us. It's what the trees gives us. Oxygen.
So O2 is oxygen.
Alright. So you will watch a video about the respiratory system. So enjoy the video and see you back. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. You have an infographic about the respiratory system.
So as you can see, it starts from the nose, and then from the nose, the air passes into the larynx, which is the voice box. So when you're talking, the air vibrates in your voice box and creates sound. Then from the voice box, it passes into the windpipe or the trachea. And from the trachea, it enters the lungs. And the pipe inside the lung is called the bronchus. And below your lung is a bone called the diaphragm. So the diaphragm supports the lungs, and it is like a small bone, and it holds the weight of the lungs.
Interesting. So the nose, it's part from the system. So the nose is the body's primary organ of smell and is a big part of the body's respiratory system. Imagine you just squeeze your nose and you will stay like this for a long time if you just use the mouth. It's not possible. So air comes into the body through the nose as it passes over the specialist cells of the olfactory system. The brain recognizes and identifies the smells. And the airs in the nose clean the air you breathe in.
So yeah, you have the hair inside your nose and that blocks all the particles. So if there's a lot of dust and you breathe in the dust, the hair will block that particle. The next is the voice box, and it is a small tubular structure which is connected to your windpipe, and air passes through the larynx before it enters the lungs, and the larynx produces the vocal sound, and what it also does is when you eat food, the larynx prevents the food from entering into the lungs. Because if food enters the lungs, then it could lead to a lot of problems.
It's like beatbox. People who do beatbox is also they can play with this organ. And also, if you see many people who smoke or have like cancer, so with the larynx. So here we will show you a video after about if you have a cancer. But here you have the trachea.
So the trachea is one part of the tree that is a conduit or a passage for air to pass through it from the alveoli of the lungs. What this does is that it helps to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide in and out. It is also called the windpipe. So this portion from here, from the nose all the way to the lungs, is the trachea or the windpipe.
So here the bronchus carry air that is breathed in through to the functional tissues of the lungs called alveoli. So an exchange of gases between the air in the lungs and the blood in the capillaries occurs across the walls of the alveolar duct and alveoli. Lot of vocabulary, but what is important is like to know the system. You don't need to know all the vocabulary, but just like how it works.
So think of it as the windpipe. There is one windpipe, and then the windpipe breaks into two bronchi. So one bronchi here, one bronchi here. So the air goes in and out, and inside the lung you have the alveoli. So the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place over there.
So the main function of the lungs is the process of gas exchange called respiration or breathing. In respiration, oxygen from incoming air enters the blood and carbon dioxide. A waste gas from the metabolism leaves the blood. A reduced lung function means that the ability of lungs to exchange gases is reduced. So people can live with one lung. So people can donate an organ, the lung, but it's going to be more difficult to breathe after that, but it's possible to live with only one.
And what happens is your body needs oxygen because your blood needs oxygen. So the oxygen from the air goes into your blood, and the blood has a lot of carbon dioxide. So it will take it out and throw it out through the nose.
So it's important to protect our lung from air pollution and to avoid to smoke cigarettes. So here you see the picture of an unhealthy lung, and here the healthy lung.
So the healthy lung still has a lot of blood and oxygen, whereas the smoker's lung is black with ash and basically like charcoal. So you should take care of your lungs.
Here we will show you now a video from a man who has throat cancer. So you will see how he speaks and how he can eat. So then you will see that smoking is not good at all, and also to avoid air pollution. So enjoy the video.
My entire life I quit 6 years before I got cancer. I figured I could take one hit, take a cigarette, smoke a cigarette, and be done with it, but I was right back in the trap. I started coughing all the time, and I went to my primary care physician, went down, and I had a tumor on my left vocal cord. You know what? She's gonna be dead in a couple of days if we don't get rid of this right now. First, they removed the tumor and tried to save my vocal cords, and it grew back fully within a month, blocking 90% of my airway.
Okay, welcome back.
And here we will study about two illnesses that you can have for your respiratory system. First is asthma. So if you have difficulty breathing, or if you breathe very fast, then that condition is called asthma. And you have certain pipes. So you press the pipe and it gives you fresh air to clear out your asthma. Okay? And the second condition is called pneumonia. So right now you hear about people getting COVID, and what they have is because of COVID, they have pneumonia, or there is a lot of water inside the lungs. Okay? So, and it is caused because of infection, which can be bacterial or viral. So you should be very careful of pneumonia.
That's why mask very important. Okay, exercise. Can you name all the parts of the respiratory system? So you can pause the video and write number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And try to write the name. Pause the video. Here are the answers. Here the last exercise.
So now what we have done is we have mixed up the alphabets. Mm-hmm. So now try to look at your diagram and see if you find the word here, and see if you can find the right word.
Mm-hmm. So you can pause the video again and make the exercise. Here are the answers. So how many did you find? Write this out in a notebook. And here the diagram, the thinking tool. So select one or two parts and describe what they are used for in the respiratory system. So if you take the mouth or the nose, and explain what is the action, what is the use for it. So 2 parts to describe what to do. So here was a lot of vocabulary, so just try to remember how it works. The vocabulary, it's less important for this lesson, just to know how it works, but just the main vocabulary, the lungs, the trachea, the mouth, of course. But then try to find the time meaning in your notebook.
And most importantly, try to do a diagram. That is your thinking tool for this exercise. Do a diagram of the entire respiratory system. And most importantly, just remember the nose, the windpipe, the lungs, the bronchi, and alveoli. And remember there's a bone called the diaphragm below the lungs. And draw all of those on your diagram.
Alright, so if some of you wants to be doctor, that's already a good lesson for you. If you want to be doctor or nurse, so it's already a good lesson for this. Okay,
So,
see you.
Thank you. Good luck.